lot of people in grade 12 say this mazana is good, follow this book, follow this, that, and those are all wrong. I know many people who ignore the book, which all the questions come from. I think that's a huge mistake that 12th graders do. Because, I mean, after all, the questions come from the book, and
obviously they're not going to take it from a private teacher or school teacher's malzama or smart notebook.
Yes. But yes, malzamas are important to understand more and to know what's like extra information you need to understand.
It's
the
like
book.
a side dish that helps you to understand more, to clarify things that are in the book if they were kind of complicated.
Yes.
But of course, number one should be the book.
Focus on book and then on the other malzamas. But solving questions, I can't say we both agree on solving questions is one of the most important things. Yes, you need to study the book, focus on the book, but solving questions will make you understand the book even way more better.
Like sometimes you think you understand everything, but when you face questions you do not know how to solve.
Yes.
So I think if you had 10 hours of studying, make 4 or 3 hours of reading the book or just studying generally, and the whole time trying to solve questions. And on this point I can agree that the more questions you solve, even if it's from different teachers, it won't harm you.
Indeed. Like,
it's the opposite.
Yes. Don't say this question is good, this question is bad.
Just solve all.
Solve everything. You won't know what will come from the question.
As much as you can.
Yeah, and sometimes some questions are not like, it's obvious that they won't come, but it will open your mind for other questions. So it's not always, oh, this question might come. No, it's about, will this question open my mind to understand the subjects way better.
So because you know, our revision time was so much, we had more chance to solve many teachers' smart notebooks or wizari questions, which is also something important.
One of the most important things.
Chapter reviews, section reviews, obviously. But at the same time, there are some questions we solved. They were too hard to come in wizari. It's not that complicated as we all think. But as she mentioned, it opened our mind, especially biology. Like it's more critical, and it happens having mistakes in wizari questions every year. So it will just help you, you know, practice and make your mind more open to those situations.
So there's this misunderstanding among 12th graders that if you're grade 12, you cannot have fun, you cannot relax as much as before, or even some people say you cannot relax. I personally would not agree. I don't think you would either.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story that I experienced during 12th grade, changed my mind about this relaxation and these kind of things. So I had the revision of math, I think it was math. My mind was really tired at that time, and I did not have a lot of relaxing and those kind of things. So I would have questions, so I would mark them as a question and write down the question beside it. So I would ask the teacher later on. This was during revision time. So after about a month, something like that, I stopped reading math. After a month, we went to the teacher, me and her, to ask our questions, and half an hour, literally half an hour before going to the teacher, I checked all my questions, which I had it for like 10 days. I think I studied math, had those during those 10 days, and I realized I could answer like almost 80%. Taken into consideration, 2 days before going to the teacher, I took a rest, day off, did not study anything. So I relaxed my mind, and that way I could understand the subject way more. So as much as studying is important, having relaxation and meditation and relaxing, having fun is important during grade 12 too.
Definitely, like you need to charge yourself to study more. You cannot continue on that without having a break, because some people think having a break is waste of time. Like me, I thought this way, but actually it's not like that. It's totally the opposite. It's a time so that like you have it so that you can give yourself a fuel and motivate yourself to study harder and with better focus and less stress.
So one of the things that I did during grade 12 and I really think was beneficial for me was setting goals. When we say goal, most people think of setting a high goal, for example, going to that university, achieving this mark, being first in Kurdistan, these are goals. No, yeah, these are goals, but goals could be, we could have small goals, for example. A to-do list during the day is a goal too. For example, you're having a goal of revising biology or solving math question. Those are goals too. Personally, I had a small notebook. Every day when I would come home from school, first thing I would write down everything that I had to do during that day. For example, revising biology, solving math question, revising physics, solving this question, doing that. And for example, I had a quiz, I would write it down. By doing that, you would realize that you are actually being productive and doing much more than you think you are doing. Or in the opposite way, you could be doing a little and you think you're doing a lot. So by writing them down, you will know how much you're doing. I think you did the same thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was going home the same way as her, but we also had a small difference, is that you can mention the times each hour, what do you do, like her. But for me, I just wrote randomly what I wanted to do during these days and kept it in front of my eyes because I did not have specific time for it to remember it.
Personally, I tried both ways, having a time and then, like for example, between 2 to 3 I would study that, and then between 3 to 4 I would do that. I did that, and I did the fact of having, like, just writing down the things I had to do during the day and doing them randomly. For me, it worked the second way, which is just writing them and not having...
Because it has less pressure on you.
Yes, less pressure, and you don't know what will happen during the day. For example, a guest might come over and then you would get super stressed out, oh, I lost time and this stuff. No, but if you do them during, like, what time you have, you won't feel as stressed out as...
Yeah, and I think also about the important and the most important goals, which is generally about 12th grade, what do you do after it when you gain the mark, or for example, many people, they don't know what they want to be until the wizari exams and even after it, and it's totally normal. Like, it's something you shouldn't be stressed about, and I know many people like can't like sleep days, having nightmares, just like because they don't know what they're doing. I think you should have a goal. It doesn't matter about the job specifically, what you want to be, an engineer or a doctor. Maybe just having an average between this much and this much is a goal. But of course it's better to know what exactly you want, but if you didn't know, it's totally normal. You will figure out in the end, and I'm one of the people that I did not know what I wanted. Before the Zanko line in 1 week, I discovered what I wanted, opposite of her.
I knew from the beginning that I wanted to become an architect. And as she said, having a goal, don't always focus on having, for example, entering that university. You have a goal of getting a high mark, for example.
Like, a goal can be a specific university or a specific mark, or like an average of mark between this much and this much, or a specific job even. Or even like some people don't care about the job, just care about studying abroad or a specific city. So when I say you don't have to be stressed about not knowing what you want to be, that doesn't mean you don't have to have a goal. But your goal can be whatever that makes you comfortable.
Indeed. All this preparation, all this studying you have been doing is for the specific day. We all think this day is a huge day in our life, and
it is actually.
It indeed is, but it's not as big as people make it seem to look like. Yes, I thought in wizari I would freak out, I would faint, I wouldn't be able to answer. But
I would forget.
Exactly, but it was not like that. It was just like a normal quiz or like exam. It was not as freaky as it seemed to be. And I think that goes back to my experience, that thing I did before exam, which was a meditation. So my way to the exam hall was a bit long. I would go into the car, recite Ayatul Kursi, those ads that everyone does. After that, I would sit down like this, my back straight, my hands on my knees, close my eyes and think about a positive place or a nice place I want to be in, and 4 breathe in and 4 breathe out. This way it was like 15 to 10 minutes I would do it, and it helped a lot. And I didn't realize it helped me until the last exam. We had physics exam, and my father found a shorter way to get there. I don't know why on that day, and
It was the
yes, I think I did it for 5 or 4 minutes like that because the way was shorter, and I remember how shivering I was, and I swear to God, when I say my eyes were black, I'm not kidding. My eyes went, I couldn't see anything. And then after a while, it was blurry. I couldn't read anything. I was shaking, and yes. And after that, I was like, sit down during the exam. I was like, sit down and do the relaxation you always did. I did it for about 10 to 15 minutes, and everything went back to normal. I was not stressed. I answered very great, and I was like seeing normally again. So I think that meditation had a really great impact on me being relaxed, and I really thought it was a normal like quiz. I didn't think of it as a big thing, and when I didn't know a question, I wouldn't freak out. And that brings us to another point is when you see a wrong question, don't freak out. They will cancel it. And every year there are wrong questions. So when you see one, don't freak out, don't start crying, and there are so many people who does that. So I think there's no need to freak out, right?
I totally think the same way, but there are two types of things that you have to consider. A mistake from the questions and a mistake from you.
Yes.
Our year we had many questions that many of us, like most of us, we had struggles with, but most of us did not focus on the book. That's why.
Yes.
So as we mentioned before about the book and studying depending on the book is something so important because you can see from our experience most of our questions, obviously all the years, every year they repeat many questions, but our year the new questions, they were from the book that many people ignored. That's why if you did not study the book, if you studied less, then you have to know it's your mistake. Yes. Otherwise, seeing mistakes during exam, it's totally normal because it happens every year. You should just stay relaxed because the stress you get during the exams or before the exams especially, it makes the whole, even if you had the perfect schedule, you are so relaxed the whole time while studying in the best schedule as lifestyle, everything will get ruined just because you're stressed. You'll ruin and destroy everything you worked for.
Indeed. And another point is about thinking about the second trial and these stuff. Try to ignore it. I'm not saying don't do it, it's not wrong, because we personally didn't experience that. I thought about getting into the second trial, and I'm thankful that I didn't. So I would say ignore it as much as you can, although we cannot talk much about it because we did not
experience it. But at the same time, you have to consider something. Going into the exam and having few mistakes, let's say getting like 95, 96, let's say during the first trial, and you wanted to get 100 in that lesson, don't leave it for the second trial, because if you get 100 in the second trial, trust me, it's not better than the 96 in the first trial.
Yes, indeed. And another point I want to mention that I forgot is during 12th grade, like all 12th grade, generally, not only exam time, try to find something that relaxes you. And for example, that could be a friend, that could be a pet you have. For example, it could be doing a sport activity or anything that makes you relax and makes you forget about studying and these stuff, and it will really help with your
reduce your stress.
Yes, it's reducing. For example, for me, I got a pet cat, and whenever she was around, I would be able to focus more, and when I was like petting her, I would be able to like study more. So I would say it's a really great way to find something that makes you happy and makes you relaxed.
Yeah.
So
it can be something simple. Like for me, I tried a few times, not all the time, walking out at night, just have a walk with not thinking of anything, just like cleaning up your mind. It really helped me and made me relax so much.
And we're saying do that, do relaxation, we're not
it's
saying
just an example.
Don't do it for a long period of time. Don't waste your time on that. No, take into consideration relaxing and doing activities you like, but don't do it excessively. Thank you for watching. Hope you got something useful out of this video. Don't forget to share it with your other 12th grade friends.
And also like it and subscribe.
Bye!